for the bloopers.
Okay. Hi, welcome to the Close podcast, where we speak to entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders on how they close different opportunities in their careers and business. And joining me today is Leida, Correia, Silva from Cape Verde, and she's the founder of EasyPay.CV. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for this opportunity.
So I love
awesome.
Thank you. So are you. So my favorite thing about like conferences and like going places where you're able to network is like simple things like this. So we started this podcast and we're like, let's connect with as many entrepreneurs as we can. So I'm so glad that you're available, and we're in Paris. So we're having champagne. Sometimes we have coffee conversations, and sometimes we have champagne conversations.
Yes, this is definitely a champagne conversation.
So I want to start with firstly just like being an entrepreneur in Cape Verde. What is the startup ecosystem like? What is it like starting a business and being an entrepreneur and
the woman
in Cape Verde
and the kid? It's like
young
people kind of
a young female in entrepreneur in the tech startup space.
It's a lot. It's so many fingers. So it's exciting at first, right? So when you start, everything is really new and very exciting and very awesome. But Cape Verde is very ready for this right now. For technology, we're amplifying and elevating technology and innovation. So we're giving a lot of space for startups, and we don't really have we have some gender issues, but I think the age issue is a stronger stronger issue.
So there's an expectation that like people respect or take you more seriously if you're older.
Definitely, especially because I'm opening a financial institution. I'm a mechanical engineer, so people are like, are you sure what you're doing? Where did you come
from? Why are you thinking about this? And let's talk about that a little bit. So EasyPay.CV, tell us about that's your startup. It's what you're currently raising capital for. Tell us about what it is and how it works.
So EasyPay.CV is a FinTech. We are launching our first digital wallet in the country. So we're kind of revolutionizing payments in Cape Verde because we don't have anything like that. It's like we have many issues with ATMs out of order, transfers that are not available in the same day. Then you have like issues with change because then you go to a place, informal businesses, which is the most businesses in Cape Verde. They're informal, so they don't have a POS machine, so you cannot pay by card. You have to pay by cash, and then if you don't have the change, you're the one running around
to get change.
Looking for a good soul.
Sounds like a lot of African cities.
It's like, I know, right? Then you're like running after this good person to change the money for you, and they don't want to change because then they will have the same problem. Then you end up not buying something you really need because there's no change, it's kind of, we're in 2024. We shouldn't be dealing with these kinds of issues. If I want to solve something at the bank, I have to take a day off at work, which means, complications after complications with something that can be fixed and resolved very easily with technology. We are so ready. I had this idea because I lived in China for 4 years. So in China, you don't use money. So it was kind of something like, wow, mind blowing for me. I was like, oh my God, it's so fancy. It's so cool. But then I realized it's something that I can bring to Cape Verde. It's not a parallel reality. It's just a matter of technology.
Technology in a different context.
And it's a matter of getting my developers and my idea and some funding and everything. So what we did, I applied for the national competition of Cape Verde Digital last year in Cape Verde, and we actually got in. So we were incubated for 3 months, and then there's a competition at the end, and we won first place.
Well done.
Yes, I'm so happy. I was so happy. I cried a lot. There's a video online if someone wants to watch.
You deserve it.
Yeah, and then because we won that, we went to 99 Challenge in Macau, which was very good as well. It was very good for networking. It was very good for new ideas because China, and I really wanted to go back to China for this because the inspiration comes from there. So when you have something, So when you have something that you brought from somewhere and now you can bring it like as your own, adapt it for your reality and your countries, because China and Cabo Verde are very different countries. It was really exciting. And after that, we participated in, we got to pitch for one of the biggest FinTechs. Before that, actually, in Barcelona, which is, fuck the name. It's okay.
It's okay. Sometimes we say words.
Checkout.com, I think. Yes, it's checkout.com. So we got to pitch for one of the biggest fintechs in the world, which is checkout.com. And we were the only ones to get an after talk with the investor.
Okay, that's
so
amazing.
It shows promise, right?
It absolutely
we
does.
have virgin land. Like EasyPay is a little bit more than a digital wallet. We are a financial institution, but we are a super app.
Yeah. So you're sitting in a space. We were talking. You're talking to me about this yesterday when I met you, and I think this was something that is really relevant to a lot of other African countries in the sense that you guys, I think, are the number one country in the world that has the highest remittance from income from the diaspora. But I know a lot of people who live, like Nigeria, Zimbabweans, people who are sending money home all the time, and that's not a unique situation. We see that a lot across the continent, and I'm sure in other countries across the world, and probably a lot in South America as well. So I think the problem that you're solving is one, scalable, which is great. And then I think the ease of money exchange is also a big thing as well, right? Like, we I think about South Africa and what's available there, and yes, online banking is easy, and a lot of people are like even doing smart pay with their watches and their phones and stuff. But the people who are based in township and rural communities are still cash based, and that's still the majority of
that's
our economy. Yeah, and that is where the business is. The money's moving around there, and there's so much of the money that's moving around. And I think I did a TED talk on a topic called Kasi Gold, and the fact that our township economies in South Africa have $1 trillion that's untapped, right? And this is money that's moving unmonitored because it's cash. People don't have bank accounts. Exactly that, right? So I think the brilliance of that is the fact that it's a solution that's applicable across the continent. And I'm curious to know what are some of the things that you've done for like testing and validating.
Your from the beginning, before we started with the Cape Verde Digital, I got counseling from the central bank. I thought it would be better to work side by side with them, because then you kind of like get on their good side, and as well you learn, So because this is a solution, exactly like you said, we didn't think it only for Cabo Verde. We want to base it there, but then we want to expand it. We want to scale it to all the African countries that we can, and then build this bridge between the African continent and the Portuguese speaking countries, because we are Portuguese speaking. So, and we know that we have a lot of immigrants everywhere in the world, in South Africa and in Cape Verde and in many African countries. So we need to, I feel like this solution is what is gonna create this bond. I don't know if it's going to, but that's one of our goals. This is one of our goals.
And that's beautiful. I love that for innovation beyond just the product solution.
Yes,
to go, what is the human impact of the work that we're doing? I
always say that nowadays startups are nothing without a social cause.
Absolutely. So, I love that.
Yeah,
that's so
good. And when I also like to say, and like to think, I'm not sure if it's right, but that when I got into the competition of Cape Verde Digital, it was because I mentioned this untapped market, the merchants, the informal businesses. They're people that are not saving for retirement. They don't have insurance.
It's a completely different market space.
It's crazy. These people, they make money. Money is moving, but they don't save any. They don't have. Probably they save it, but not in a way that it's producing
under
more.
The pillowcase. It's under the bed. It's in a cupboard somewhere.
Exactly. It's not raising. It's not. You're not saving for your retirement. You don't know how you're gonna be later. So when you stop that small business and you're 60 years old, 70 years old, you can't work. You're gonna have low quality of life. Why should you have that, right?
Especially in the context where a lot of governments don't have great social programs or are able to look after the majority of the population.
And when you have a very politicized country like Cabo Verde, sometimes people end up losing because of this problem, you know?
One thing I like about what you're saying is for me, it really highlights how much entrepreneurs as founders are not just the person starting a business and they've got a great idea, but also a leader, and I have to be responsible for leading themselves and leading a team, and getting buy-in from different stakeholders and so forth. And one of the things that exemplifies you as a leader is being listed on Forbes 30 under 30 list. Congratulations.
I'm so excited. I cried a lot. I've cried a lot. It's been a long month crying.
A long month. It's a time of back-to-back wins, which I think is so helpful when you're starting a business, that sometimes those wins that come along really go a long way. I'm curious to know, how do you, as an individual who's starting this amazing startup, who is connecting with people, who's driving the vision, how do you make sure that you're able to show up in a way where you have the energy, you have the mental resilience, and you really feel like you have what it takes to do what you do?
I think, I always like defying odds. Like, I think if I make an analysis of my life, it's always been a little bit of that. You can't do that. Yes, of course I can do that. I was the only woman in my class in mechanical engineering. I am the only woman in my office. Not at EasyPay, because I do not plan to have an office like that. I have 5 women working with me and 2 guys. So that's good. That's quite good.
It's a good start.
And so I always say, like, it's tough, of course. I think I had this time that everything was so difficult. I started feeling a little bit tired, but I never want to quit. This is something that I see. I also say it a lot, that it's not because it's my project, but I see a lot of promise in it. Like, and I know I see it further,
the
like how it's going to make people's lives better. I always say as well that I'm probably like the dumbest entrepreneur, because I always said, like, when I started, I used to tell people, like, I don't care if I don't make money for 5 years with EasyPay.CV, but I just want something to happen. I need change. I need people to start making money different ways, saving money, sending money, like
changing the way we
facilitating your life. You can't have like 10 hours of your day with bureaucracy.
Facilitating your life. I love that so much.
That's actually our slogan at EasyPay.
EasyPay.CV, facilitating your life. I love that. You are currently raising.
Yes, I'm raising.
Is this your first round of raising?
No, I did a first one when we just won the competition. So we have had a little bit of funding. Just to make things, until now we have an MVP. We have had all of the compliance department to start doing something, start writing the compliance regulamentations, all the dossier that we had to produce to deliver to the central bank. It's a lot of money as well.
A lot of money and a lot of work.
A lot of work. And I have to hire people. I don't know how to do all of these things. So
what would be your next round of, how much are you trying to raise for next?
Right now.
And what has that taken for you to, like, what's that process? I'm thinking of entrepreneurs who either haven't raised or are in the process of raising, and they're feeling very much like, does everybody else go through the same thing? What has that how much are you raising, and what has that experience been like for you?
I think this summit specifically helped me with that feeling of, is everybody doing the same? Because I came here, I was like, okay, I see some important people having the same issue. So it's not me. I'm just like in the process. I'm working with that. I'm raising right now $300,000. It's basically USD. Our license is $200,000.
Okay.
So the part before the license, we already did it, right? With the funding we received. Now I need the funding for the license, and the 100K is for the marketing campaign and to put this into the market, because we're talking about Africa, we're talking about Cape Verde. People go to the bank to count their money and they go home. So I need planned this 3-month educating
because that's what you need to do. You need to educate people. You need to drive social change and education
that reaches every public. If I want everybody in Cape Verde, or at least 80% using my application, I have to reach all of them. I have to reach them in a way that they can see it, because I'm not gonna post it on Instagram or Facebook knowing that these people are working until 10 o'clock at night. They get home, they probably make a phone call with their family that is outside, or watch TV. They're not going on Instagram to check my ad. We are focusing in very different ways, and specifically for our 3 segments of clients, which is the merchants, your individual person, and the businesses, like businesses that work with developers in the creative industry, because there are also a part that we want to solve. Many of Cape Verdeans nowadays are developers and outsourcing, but they don't have a way to receive the payment. It's crazy, you know.
This is such a great innovation. I wish you all the best. Before we wrap up our conversation, I'd love to end our close podcast with understanding what is it about you that helps you to close. So something about your personality or like a superpower that you have that when you walk into a room, you're like, this is the thing that's going to help me seal the deal, get the partnership.
I think I'm very outgoing and confident. I don't know. I think my confidence I wasn't always confident. I remember exactly when my confidence came. But I think it's my confidence and my outgoing. Like I will talk to you. If you don't want to talk to me, if you're going to be rude to me, that's your problem. And I don't let that energy touch me, you know. It's a process.
Which is really important to have that kind of thick skin as entrepreneurs.
And it's a process. You're not born with that. You're not born with that. It's a process. You learn. I'm a mother too. I have a 2-year-old daughter. She's so cute. And she also motivates me a lot because, you know, I want to give her
That's beautiful.
All of this.
Where can people find you on socials to track your journey and what happens next with
So you can check me on Forbes Under 30, Africa Lusófona, and also you can check me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you have a social media basically. And it's Leida Correia Silva. Even on Instagram, it has like some.
Perfect. So great chatting with you. Thank you so much.
You're
so wonderful. All the best. And that is it for this edition of The Close. Stay tuned for more conversations on how investors, entrepreneurs, and leaders close.
And we'll close with the cheer.
Cheers. Yeah, I love it.
À Paris.
À Paris.